Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Jerome Strickland channel. Yes, I'm back at the same park that I was the other night. I just had a little crazy mishap. My dog got out the fence and I was actually going my way to another park. But I don't want to tell y'all too much about what's going on with that, but I had to make a few adjustments, as they say. But yes, we are back out here making another video. It's actually very quiet out here. I wasn't expecting it to be this quiet on a Saturday night out here. It's not even 8, it's just barely 8 o'clock. But anyway, I'm out here making another video. It's nice and quiet out here. I'm not gonna be very long. This might be one of my short videos. Excuse me. I hope, I don't really have any good views to give y'all except a walk in the park type views. But that's fine. That's okay because we got some good information to give. And hopefully that'll make up for it. So I'm gonna get on with the lesson today, with the esoteric wisdom. Tonight, I want to talk about the consciousness veil, what I call the consciousness veil. Yes, first of all, what do I see the consciousness as? There's some little kids over there playing basketball. The consciousness is that direct link to the superconscious or to God. Your consciousness, and as they say, the 33-degree Masons know this, and a lot of secret society, secret organizations, they know this. There is a direct line from God, the superconscious, to the consciousness. But there can be a veil placed between that superconscious mind and that conscious mind. When we're talking about behind the veil and the veil this and the veil that, what are they talking about? They're not talking about a physical veil. We're talking about a consciousness veil that has been pulled over everybody's consciousness. You ever heard the saying, pull the wool over their eyes? Well, that's some wool been pulled over your conscious eyes. You have a direct line to God. You are all knowing. You know the truth. But there's been a veil placed over your conscious mind. Who did this and why they did this is simple. It's simple mastery and control over another consciousness. The veil, that direct link between you and God, has had a veil pulled over it. And this is what you see with the majority of the people in this world. They have a veil over their consciousness. And when we're talking about going to sleep and waking up, excuse me, we're talking about that level of consciousness. There you're walking the dog down there. And so, this is what you see. This veil over society. There's a lot of smart people in the world. There's a lot of clever people. A lot of people that can do a lot of things with great gifts and great talents, with high IQs. Think about it. Just because somebody got a high IQ doesn't mean that they're spiritually aware. You can have a 200 plus IQ but still be totally veiled in your consciousness. You can have all the degrees in the world. I'm gonna cross the street this time and walk on down. Well, I might just go this way. You can have all the degrees in the world. You can have You can be an engineer, you can be an architect, you can be a doctor, you can be this and that. You can be the heads of states and the heads of countries and still have a veil over your consciousness. The direct link between you and God. You see, truth. What is truth? Well, there is 3 different types of truth. People don't tell you this. There are 3 different types of truth. Listen very closely. There is perceived truth. There is believed truth. And there is the actual truth. Let me say that again. There is perceived truth. There is believed truth. And then there is actual truth. And so perceived truth is what is given to you by the mainstream outlets and the mainstream version of everything. They give you a perceived truth. This comes from the mainstream. The believed truth comes from religion. This is why religions talk a lot about believe this and you must believe and you must have faith and you must have faith and you must believe and you must believe and you must have faith, because they're trying to instill a believed truth within you. And then there's the actual truth. This is the truth that you find by connecting with God within you. Hold on, there's somebody walking in the park. Hold on, let me get this guy get by. These people like ghosts out here. They just appear out of nowhere. Let me let this guy get back, and then we'll get back to the lesson. Some guy just walking right there. But yes, there is perceived truth, which comes from, which is the mainstream version of everything. And there's believed truth, which you and me know as religion and religious type religious type organizations. And then there's the actual truth. How does this relate to the veil over everybody's consciousness? Once they place a veil over your consciousness, they start presenting to you the perceived truth. Once they place the veil over your consciousness, they start presenting to you the believed truth, or the religious version of truth. And so if you have a veil over your consciousness, you will actually buy into someone else's version of the truth. Whether it be a perceived truth, whether it be a believed truth, there will be a veil over your consciousness. And so when you do this, you are basically living in someone else's reality instead of your own. But once you go within and you pull back the veil, you'll see most of the stuff that you've learned your whole life have been perceived and believed. Perceive is they tell you this is the official word, this is the official this and the official that. Perceived truth. You must believe and you must have faith and believe and believe and have faith and believe. Religion. Once you leave all of that alone, leave all that behind and get by yourself with God and go within, that's when you begin to take a peek behind the veil. That's when you start seeing behind the veil of all things. That's when you start seeing actual truth. Because only God can give you actual truth. This world is going to give you its perceived truth. This world is going to give you its believed truth. But only God can give you the actual truth. You got some people, they're so steeped in the perceived and the believed, that they don't even want the actual truth anymore. You try to present the actual truth to them because you went and did the work. You went within and met with God. God has showed you the actual truth, and you try to go show it to people, and they'll talk about you and, shun you and, ostracize you and all this other stuff. And all you trying to do is tell them the truth. So you say, well, go in for yourself. Go to God for yourself. Not with no perceived version. Not with no believed version. Because people, when they quote unquote go to God, they still go to God with a perceived idea. Or they go to God with a believed idea. They don't go to God looking for the actual truth. But once you strip all of that away, see, I don't tell God, I don't want a perceived truth. I don't want a believed truth. Tell God within you, I need the actual truth of what's really going on. What's behind the veil? Hold on, somebody sitting on the porch over here. But yes, hold on, let me get over here. Oh, the world is full of looky-loos and listen-loos. Haven't you noticed that? There's some people that sit in the dark corners and be still. And they kind of like watch you from a distance. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Because truth must go on. So there's a believed truth and there's a perceived truth and a believed truth. And then there's the veil. That's what's behind the veil. So let me ask you this question. I know I'm talking very quiet right now, so you might have to really listen to this video. Sorry about that. If the video's not as loud as you would like it to be, if my voice is not as, the volume of my voice is not as high as it should be, I understand. Just bear with me. But the perceived truth and the believed truth and the actual truth. I forgot my thought there for a minute, but as you go forward in your walk, you must ask yourself, do I want a perceived truth? Do I want a believed truth? Or do I want the actual truth? So you must go within yourself. Oh, this is what I was about to say. Tell God that you don't want a perceived truth. You're not seeking a perceived truth. Tell God within you that you're not looking for a believed truth, what the religious organizations taught you. You're not looking for a perceived truth, what the mainstream organizations have taught you. God, I want the actual truth that comes direct from you. I want the veil that's been over my consciousness to be lifted. And so I can see what's really going on. Not so I can have some great power and some great authority or, so I can step into my rightful place as a creator and a co-creator, as an heir and joint heir with God within me. Yes, this is why I want to get behind this veil. There are those who are tethered to this reality and they can't leave. They keep getting recycled back to this reality and they know it. And so this is their reality. And the last thing they want, the last thing they need is for this version of their reality to crumble. So they're constantly presenting you with a perceived truth. They're constantly presenting you with the believed truth. But when you wake up and start seeking the actual truth, that's when the veil starts to lift. And when you wake up, when I mean wake up, I mean go within and talk to God within you. Not your inner, not you talking to yourself. There's two voices within you. There's you talking to your ego. That's your ego talking to you. And there's God talking to you. How do you tell the difference? I believe you tell the difference. You will know, you as you spend more time with God, and as you set your intent, and as you get to know God, you'll be able to distinguish God's voice within you from the egoic voice within you. From that ego voice. From that voice that you'll be able to tell by the way the voice is talking if it's really God or not. But it takes time. You got to spend time, just like when you spend time with somebody, you know them. You know what if somebody say they said this or they did this, you be like, no, they didn't. They didn't say this. They didn't do this. They try to tell you, oh, they so-and-so said this. So-and-so did this. No. Well, how do you know they didn't say it? How you know they didn't do it? Because I know them. I spent time with them, and I know they wouldn't say or do anything like that. Or I know what they would or would say, and I know what they would do. And so, yeah, I just recently watched a movie about something like this, where they tried to falsely accuse somebody, but the people saw through it because they knew the guy. He was a member of their society. He was a member of their, community. He grew up in that community. And they was like, no, something else going on here. They could see through it. And that's the same thing when you learn God's voice within you. When you spend time with God in meditation, setting your intent to hear God's voice, and then God begins to present to you the actual truth of things. Not a perceived truth, not a believed truth, but the actual truth. And this is what you're after. This nice quiet park out here. It is so quiet out here, peaceful. But when you understand this, that if you want the veil to be lifted over your consciousness, you have got to go within and spend time with God. You have got to go within, get by yourself. This is why they keep you busy. This is why they keep you distracted. This is why they keep you angry. This is why they keep you in fear. This is why they keep you fighting against one another. Because they don't want you to get by yourself. Be at peace in your heart and talk to God. And spend time with God. Jobs, 40-hour work week, sometimes more. And they tell you it's a great thing if you're willing to work overtime. People are so proud. They so proud. Yeah, I worked 30 hours overtime this week. Well, congratulations. What do you want, a cookie? I mean, that means you spent less time with God because you spend more time trying to earn a dollar that you're gonna spend anyway. But God is time. God is the most valuable time well spent, spending time with God. And people have replaced that time with watching a game, going to the movies, all of this outer stuff, instead of going within. And there's nothing wrong with maybe having a little fun, a little joy and enjoyment outside of yourself. I'm not telling you to be a stick in the mud, but don't neglect your time with God. Don't neglect your time with God. If you really want to get behind the veil, and you want the veil to lift, and you want to get to the actual truth of things, and you want to step into who you really are in God, you got to spend time. You got to spend time with God. There's been a veil over your consciousness, And it's what you are conscious of, what you are aware of, that creates your reality. And so if I put a veil over your consciousness and I turn your consciousness to something outside of you, then that's all you're going to be conscious and aware of. And then I can manipulate your reality because I put a veil over your consciousness and turn your consciousness to the outer. And you focus on outer things outside of yourself, instead of going within. A lot of people have no intent or desire, or they don't even have any reason they should go within. To them, it's a waste of time. Well, I'm sitting here going within for when I can be at the baseball game, and I can be watching TV, I can be watching Netflix, I could be with my babe, I could be with my favorite girl. Why would I want to sit here spending time with God when I have all this other stuff I have to do? That's exactly my point. The veil over your consciousness. You got some people who do not want or care for or desire to see behind the veil. And therefore, just like those that put the veil over their consciousness, they will be tethered to this outer reality. And they'll never, until they wake up and look behind the veil, spend time with God, they'll be tethered to this outer reality. And they'll never see behind the veil. This is how you see behind the veil. Some people talking about what's behind the veil. What's behind the veil? I'll tell you what's behind the veil. It's them manipulating your conscience, just like in the Wizard of Oz. That's what's behind the veil. And God will show you that when you spend time with Him. If you think of the movie Wizard of Oz, and that little dog, when you watch the movie, if they hadn't changed it, they like to change stuff. If they hadn't changed it, towards the end of that movie, the little dog walks over there and he takes the veil in his mouth and pulls the curtain off, or pulls the curtain open. And what does dog spell backwards? God. God will pull the veil up and show you who's really behind the veil. See, they use the dog in that as symbolism. The dog pulled the veil back, meaning, and dog spelled backward is God. God will pull back the veil and let you see who's really working the machines back there. Yes. So this, I'm not gonna hold y'all long tonight. I did about 20 minutes. But I encourage you, if you really want to go higher and you really want to advance, I can't think of a better word to say, it's probably a better word than that, but if you want to go higher in your spiritual walk, in your spiritual journey, and figure out and find who you really are, and understand that you are one with God and God is one with you. You are one with your I amness. God is the great I amness, your consciousness within you. Yes. Once you realize this, I don't know, I almost took 2 laps around this track. It's a whole nother park down there at the end of the street. Get down the end of the street. But once you realize this, you want to go higher. Once you see that you should go higher, you want to go higher. Once you stop being so tethered to this outer world and realize that you are air and joint air, that you are one with the great I am within you. Your I am is your consciousness, and the superconscious, God is streaming to you all of the things that you need. See, there's 2 things feeding you your thoughts. This outer world, this perceived reality, and it's believed reality. Or God, the great I am within you. You are getting your feed from somewhere. Because you're constantly getting fed thoughts. You're constantly getting fed thoughts. Whether from the perceived world, from the believed world, or from I am within you. And if you truly, truly want to find the truth, not the perceived truth, not the believed truth, but the actual truth, you must pull back the veil. Yes. And become one with the I am within you. And once you spend time with God, you will absolutely learn God's voice within you. Yes. I'm not gonna hold y'all long tonight. It's about 30 minutes, which is where I like to keep it. So I want to encourage everybody, start going within yourself. Even if this video gets shadow banned, even if this video is suppressed, I know, or at least sometimes I sense that could be what's happening. I don't know for sure. But my videos don't go nowhere once I post them. I'm like, why is my video? Man, okay. But anyway, whether they go somewhere or not, this video found you. And it found you for a reason. That means God, the great I am that is within you, is extending his proverbial hand to you and said, if you want, because there's something within you, a frequency or vibration in you that says, I'm tired of perceived truth. I'm tired of the believed truth. I want the actual truth of who I am. Yes. I want the actual truth. And you gotta love yourself, love God within you. Be kind to yourself. Don't be so rough on yourself. You know, some people are so hard on themselves. I mean, the world is trying to be hard on you as it is. They're watching you like a hawk. They're trying to suppress every move you make. Yeah. It's like water. How you try to take water and put it in a container so it don't get out. The same thing they're trying to do with your consciousness. They're trying to put your consciousness in a container. But when your cup starts running over, it can't be contained. Yes. So I'm gonna end this video. I want to encourage everyone to go seek God within yourself. Leave the perceived ideas and the perceived narrative. Leave even the believed narrative, because believe it or not, there's a lot of belief within you. There's a lot of perception within you that was planted in you all your life. And even me, even I have to deal with some of this stuff sometimes. And I have to catch all of these perceived and believed things that was placed in me. And one by one, you have to knock them down and get back to the essence that is God within you. Yes. So I guess the park's getting ready to close or something. I see the police over there. He's probably wondering what I'm doing with this camera. I'm making a movie. So yes, I want to encourage everyone to love yourself, love God within you. Go within and set your intent. That's very important. Once you set your intent that you want to spend time with God, when you first wake up in the morning, set your intent that you want to spend time with God. All through the day, keep that intention set that you want to spend time with God. Keep your intention set. Spend time with God, even if in the beginning it seems like a waste of time. It seems like you ain't getting anywhere. Oh, you're getting somewhere. After a while, you'll hear God's small, quiet voice whispering to you from behind the veil. Say, come look and see what's really back here. And he's gonna show you the truth of what's behind the veil. Just like that dog in The Wizard of Oz pulled the veil back and showed that man working all them mechanical devices. Yeah. All right, I'm finna get ready to go. The guy's still sitting on his porch right there. This park is surrounded by houses, and it's a nice place to probably come outside on a nice evening and sit on your front porch. You sit on your front porch and just enjoy the breeze out here. Yes, especially on a nice night. But anyway, yes, I'm almost back to my car. I'm thinking about taking a shortcut back over there. And yes, getting ready to go ahead and end this video. But remember, set your intent to go within and meet with God. As you do that, you just open the door to the great I am within you. Know that your answers are within you. This mainstream and this religious thing, all this other stuff gets you perceived and believed. This is why they tell you to get you to look at it. This is why religions say, oh, you must believe and have faith. You must have faith and believe. Because they're trying to present to you a believed truth. The news don't give you a break. They suppress, they ban, and they shadow ban everything that doesn't go along with the mainstream. I wonder why. So you can't have an alternative view of their perceived truth. So once you connect with God and go within, he gives you this degree called intuition. And your intuition becomes activated. You can even tell when somebody's lying to you. You can tell when somebody's motives ain't right. You can read somebody's eyes and body language and see everything. That's the other thing God shows you when the veil gets pulled back. You be able to see everything. Everything becomes naked in your sight. Just think like everything is naked in God's sight. You'll be able to see everything. They won't be able to pull the wool over your eyes anymore. Yes. Focus on God within you. Set your intent with God within you. Love yourself and love God. Walk in the frequency and the vibration of honest and sincere love. And know that all is well, for the simple fact you have turned your intent and your focus inward to God within you. Yes. 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 If you want to see behind the veil, this is what you must do. There's no real technique. There's no real book. I mean, there are books out there, techniques out there. But the basic technique is you just got to go in, set your intent to find God within you with a sincere and a loving heart. And God will meet you halfway. Just like that prodigal son coming home from the pig pen. God met him halfway, didn't he? That's you. When you're coming home from this outer reality, which is the pig pen, God will meet you halfway. He's ready for you. Yes. Anyway, I'm finna get ready to end this video. I done said it about 5 times. Yes, I'm gonna give y'all a pan of this beautiful park. Very peaceful out here at night. I'm kind of glad I ended up here because it's very peaceful out here. Anyway, I'm Jerome Strickland. I'll see y'all next time. I'm out.